So hello, how you doing? My name is Raymond McLeod, the Great 32T. Today I have with me
Shauna K. Brown.
Shauna K. Brown. And could you tell me as well for the Breakthrough Conference show, what is your business and what are you looking to do and your location?
Okay, currently I am located in New York and my business is speaking. I'm a speaker, specifically, I'm a transformational speaker. I just launched my business about a week ago, actually, but I've been speaking for a very long time. And I believe that this is a conduit through which I can reach people, connect with people, and help them to transform their lives. And transformation has been something that I myself have experienced on many levels. And there are many people who feel stagnated, they're stuck, they're inhibited by so many different factors. And to a large extent, they don't feel like they can do anything about their situation. And having experienced those same feelings and emotions myself over the years, I believe it is my responsibility to not just keep that to myself, but to share it with other people so that they too can transform their lives and become the best that they can be. So I do that through speaking.
That is powerful. That is powerful. So, like the energy that created, this brand that you have now, like, what was that beginning moment? Like, what just clicked and made you have that decision to really get started, within your business?
Well, you mean when I launched last week or before, when I decided this is what I wanted to do?
Yeah, like when the decision, like when you decided, this is what you wanted to do.
Well, I've always known that I wanted to help people. When I was about 16, I spoke at a graduation, and a professor at the time, he was a keynote speaker. And after the graduation, he came up to me and he asked me what I wanted to do. And I told him that I wanted to be a doctor because at that time I was studying sciences in school and I thought that's what I wanted to do. But I wasn't passionate about medicine or anything. And he said, "Are you sure? You should go into a profession where you have to speak. You do very well." I didn't really give it any thought. Life happens, you go to school and you study other things. I didn't become a doctor, I actually became an attorney. However, and I was good in advocacy and moot court and things like that. But however, over the years, I've realized that speaking is really my forte. And as a child of God, I also realized that this is the conduit that God chose for me to reach people. And I've always been reminded of it in just the most random circumstances. I could be at my job and I speak to someone, and when the person leaves the room, another person would say, "Oh, I like the way you speak," or something like that. And it was just a constant reminder gnawing at me that if I don't do this, then other people are going to be left in limbo because they're waiting on me to serve them.
Mhm.
And so about 3 years ago in 2017, I decided to become intentional about training as a speaker, and I joined the John Maxwell Institute.
Mhm.
I also joined Toastmasters, and about 30 something speeches later, I feel like it is the right time for me to launch myself out there and let people know what I do and how I can help them. So the passion has been there for quite a while. I would say well over a decade.
Wow, I can definitely amount to that as well, just within my journey. Also, for the people watching and the fans that will be here on YouTube, tell us your information as far as your website, your social media. So if anybody want to personally connect with you, book you for any events or anything like that, could you share that information as well?
Oh, certainly. My website is shaunakbrownspeaks.com. So that is SHAUNAK Brown, BROWN speaks.com. That's my website. Shauna K. Brown Speaks, that's my Facebook page and my Instagram as well as Twitter. So if they want to find me, that's the name that I use on those platforms. Outside of that, on YouTube, I'm Shauna K. Brown, and that's my full name, SHAUNA hyphen KAYE Brown. That's my name on YouTube.
Shauna Kaye. So that is great. That is great. I'm sure a lot of people will want to connect with you. I have several people within my database as well within the breakthrough system that would personally love to just hear a little bit more about your story and connect. Me personally with the breakthrough conference, I understood that there were several people within industries that were striving during the quarantine and the pandemic, and that were also going through a lot of challenges. And I symbolize like the person that is kind of in shackles and in a chain, because like being home, 24/7 and people getting laid off their jobs, it was like when this pandemic happened, it really shifted our whole culture. And I've seen and I noticed that there were people that were actually taking advantage of this opportunity and still being successful. And then I also understood that there were businesses that were, going out of businesses, people losing their jobs. And as a breakthrough, I understood that in order to break a chain, you have to first break one link. So I understood with that, like, what is that one piece of information that's going to help me get to the next level, that is going to help the world get to the next level? And it's like everybody is searching for that one piece of information to get them to step A, to step B, to step C, and just for it as advancement. So that's why I decided to develop the Breakthrough Conference. In the beginning stages of it, I had 9 people at this event. It was family members, people from my church, school. And then the second conference was over 25 people. And then the third conference, we had like, I want to say the goal was 20. We ended up with like 35 people. So, God has really been blessing me, throughout this journey. And so through every person that came through the Breakthrough Conference system that I have, in the vision, I would ask them this question: what is their breakthrough experience that has contributed to their success? So in your life, like, what was that breakthrough experience that could potentially be life-saving for someone else out there that may have been struggling with something, or going through something that you went through and overcame?
Okay, so I would say that I have several breakthrough experiences, but one of them that is etched on my memory, I believe forever, is what transpired in 2016.
Mhm.
Now, I left law school in 2014. And one of the things that I thought was going to happen when I left law school was that I was just going to get this amazing feeling that people get, you're going into the corporate world. I was already working in corporate, but just while going to school in customer service. But I thought I was going to launch this big career and things were just going to take off. Maybe I just watched too much TV, right? So at the end of law school, here I was getting ready to do this, sent out like 50 job applications and nothing. I didn't get any response. I just started to feel really down about myself. I felt really inadequate. And I was in Jamaica at the time because I'm Jamaican.
Wow.
And nothing was happening during that time. So I decided to leave. And that's when I came here. Now, for those people who are immigrants, when you come to America, it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, lawyer, doesn't matter what you are, you have to get immersed into the system here. And so one of the things that was required was for me to sit the bar exam in order to be eligible to practice. In the interim, I still needed a job, right? So I got a job as a server in a restaurant. And I was working, I was a good server and everything like that. But while I was there, the time just kept expanding. And I realized that God was talking to me and telling me, this is it. You need to leave and go on to something else. But I was not listening. I just kept saying, I will do it soon. And time just kept going on. And something that I could not have envisioned happened. I was fired. The first time in my life I was fired from a job. It was completely unjust. And at the time I was angry. I felt a plethora of emotions because how could I be fired from a job as a server? I've done so many other things, right? But this was God speaking to me. I just didn't know at the time. And so during that time when I was fired and I was looking for a job, then I was displaced. I didn't have anywhere to live. And I just felt really low. I was broken. At one point I felt like I didn't want to live because I couldn't tell my family back home that, what had happened, because everybody had advised me against not coming here. And so I had to keep that to myself. And anyone else who could help me had to be outside of my family. So I felt like I was just alone that time and I was just existing. And because of, certain intricacies of the immigration process, I had limited options in terms of what I could have done at the time. So that made it even worse. It compounded the situation. And so for months, I was just going through the motions. I ended up moving in with someone just for a temporary thing, and that didn't work out because the person was seeking to take advantage of me. Everything was just out of, I've never experienced anything like that. Let's put it that way. And in the process, it's like I met someone and they assisted me to get a job where I'm actually working right now. And things started to turn around. Now, what I normally do is, since 2016, I would make vision boards. And on my vision board, one of the things that I had on it was that I wanted to meet this lady whose book I had read. And as fate would have it, to cut out most of the story for the interest of time, I ended up meeting her, and she planted some seeds in me. And one of the things that she told me was that if you don't have goals, then you will wind up somewhere, but you just might not like it. And so she taught me how to set goals. And it's funny because I'd accomplished a lot academically in my life, but not because of necessarily setting down goals and sticking to them. I just knew that that's what I needed to do because I grew up in abject poverty. And my mother always said the only way out of poverty is through an education. So that's why I did it. It's not because I set goals and I was intentional, really. And so that kind of ignited a fire inside of me. And on my vision board, one of the things that I had on there was that I was an Amazon bestseller. I didn't know anything about writing books or anything like that. I just saw a lot of people doing it. And how I met this lady was through reading one of her books. I just figured I could do it too. And I put it on there, had no idea how it was going to happen. And then one day I was on Facebook and this lady just reached out to me. And she said, I like your positive vibe. I like everything that you post. And I'm planning to put an anthology together. And I was wondering if you'd like to be a part of it. And that's how the opportunity came, and I did it. And in the anthology, we were supposed to share our stories. And so she had a team that helped us to unpack it. And one of the realizations I had, which is why I call this a breakthrough moment, was that sometimes God has to break you down to build you up. Mm. And in that situation where I felt destitute, I felt broken, I just felt like I was worthless. And many people wouldn't have understood because I'd gone to school, I got all these degrees, I got advanced education. They would say I'm ungrateful because they didn't understand what I was going through. So I had to keep that inside. And when I came to that realization, it's like I had an epiphany that God had to bring me down, all the way down, to build me back up, because I found him in a different way, in an intimate way than I'd ever experienced before. And I've just been growing in him since then. And it made me realize that a lot of times when you go through negative situations or tribulation, and you may ask God, why me? The question is, why not you? Because the Bible says tribulation worketh patience. So if you're seeking God for patience, he's going to put you through tribulation, because that's how you become patient. But we have to understand how it works in order for us to understand that when he brings us through those tough times, it is because he has a greater purpose in us. And in order for us to be prepared for it, we have to go through some things. So that's one of the most poignant experiences that I've had, which is why I call it a breakthrough experience.
Wow, that is absolutely powerful. Personally, I definitely needed that, because even as an entrepreneur, grinding, working, as a business owner, it gets tough. And through those tribulations, as you said, it develops that patience, it develops that character, it develops that foundation, for God really taking you to the next level. So I really appreciate that from you and that powerful testimony. And there's a two-part question to this. So that was the first part. And the second part is, right now within your business, are there any particular challenges or struggles that you're going through currently that you're looking to get through to the next level? And the reason why I say this question as well is because sometimes people look at the challenges and the struggles and they try to ignore them, or they just hold them to their own perspective, to where if there's something that they want, they won't ask. And here I just want to just open up and just to see, if there's anything that you're looking to grow through within this season as well, within your breakthrough.
Well, one of the reasons why I wouldn't necessarily count anything that I'm experiencing right now as challenges per se is that I just started. I literally launched last week. And I kind of launched before I was ready, in the sense that a lot of things, the logistics were not in place, but I was getting this overwhelming push to launch. And I realized that it's a faith walk, because for a very long time, I kept moving the post. I kept saying that, okay, when I'm done with this, I'm going to do that. But I would always find something else to do in the interim. So time kept stretching out. And then I realized that you just have to jump and grow your wings in the process. And I kept hearing the word allowing. For about 2 or 3 weeks, the word allowing was just jumping out at me. I could be at the bus stop and someone would be having a conversation that I was not attuned to, and they use the word allow or allowing, and it would just jump out and ring in my ear in the most random circumstances. And then I realized that was God talking to me and telling me to just allow him.
Mm.
And so one night I was on my prayer line, and the pastor was saying that some of you, you have something that you need to do and it's burning inside of you, but you are delayed because you don't see everything aligned. And that was when it became clear to me that I don't have to have everything aligned. In fact, when you step out in faith, that's the
Mm.
essence of faith. It's the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. So even though I don't see everything aligned, just based on my faith, if I step out, God will send me the destiny helpers. God will send me the people whom He has already earmarked to help me in the process, because He chose me. I didn't choose Him. He chose me and ordained me for such a time as this. And so when I stepped out and I decided to launch the website and change all my platforms and everything, I just did that knowing that with time, everything will fall in place as long as I remain diligent. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a challenge per se, because I'm still in the process of getting everything together. However, I can see that when it comes to being a speaker, in order for you to get speaking engagements and things like that, you have to make sure that you align yourself properly. You have to make sure that you present yourself properly. And so I know that the marketing aspects and those things I will have to work on, but those are sort of projected, not immediately.
Well, Ms. Shauna Kaye, I appreciate you so much for being on the Breakthrough Conference show. And just for all the fans and the people that personally want to connect with you, can you please give them your information one more time?
Oh, sure. So if you're looking to find me, I have a website. It's shaunakayspeaks.com, shaunakaybrown.com, sorry. So it's SHAUNAKBROWN speaks.com. That's the same name I have for my Facebook page and Instagram, as well as Twitter. If you're looking to find me on YouTube, it's Shauna Kaye, SHAUNA hyphen KAYE Brown, Shauna Kaye Brown TV. That's me on YouTube.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. You can hold on one moment for all my fans. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please keep in touch with Shauna Kaye.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.